Hi Scorpio, welcome to Libra season, welcome to October. It's nearly time. It's nearly Scorpio season, but of course we can't jump the gun quite yet. We still have that 12th house to navigate, and that's exciting. Because 12th house, it's a water house, so it makes sense for you. And it's in Libra. 12th house is all about what lies beneath. What lies beneath in your subconscious, what lies in your dreams. They're very revealing. I don't know if you're, as a Scorpio, if you've had any crazy dreams lately. I'm a Scorpio, I have quite a few. And interestingly, a lot of them are about marriage, which is Libra. So, Scorpio, your subconscious mind is throwing you a few curveballs, some information. Possibly things that you needed to know, possibly things that have surprised even you. And as your ruler, Pluto, goes direct on the 3rd of October, everything is going to seem all of a sudden oh so clear. People are going to reveal themselves as being possibly a bit different to who you thought they were. 5 of Cups. There has possibly been some recent disappointments, particularly in the realm of love and romance. 5 of Cups, it's mourning energy, it's grief, it is sadness, it is disappointment. Perhaps it's not even something that happened recently, perhaps it's something in the last 10 years, perhaps it's a repetition of things. Or perhaps you disappointed yourself. That could be so. Perhaps you disappointed yourself, perhaps you acted in a way you wish you hadn't, perhaps you made a mistake. It even happens to Scorpios. Even though we don't always like to admit it, sometimes you let your instincts slide and let a few things go, and then it turns out, oh, that gut feeling was right, that instinct was right. And the 12th house energy is so very, very private. It's so very mysterious, and it's something that Scorpio dwells in quite well. But when you're all in your feelings after quite a social and quite an eventful Virgo season, Libra season isn't saying that you should shut the door and keep everybody out, but it is saying a bit of introspection would do you some good instead of battling against what it is that you need to know. And you're feeling very private. I can even see it in your cards. You're like, I don't know if I want to hear this. I don't know if I want to go in there. But I know something that'll get you talking. If Pluto going direct in your communication sector doesn't get you talking, because now you can finally express yourself, you can finally tell people where to go. You can finally tell people what you really think. You can finally say how you really feel more than anything else. But Venus goes into your sign on the 8th, making you more attractive, making you more appealing, making you all the things that you already are, but you don't always see yourself, making you, 3 of Swords. You have been disappointed. I don't know if you noticed timestamp. I pulled that 333. It's an angel number to make sure that you know that your guides are with you, the angels are with you, you're walking with good company, you're spiritually protected. Someone's disappointed you, and for a lot of Scorpios, you're so tired of being an option, being part of many. Scorpios have an intensity with love, and even with friendships, even with romance, Scorpios have an intensity of needing to be everything. That's just who Scorpio people are. That's the way it is. For a lot of you, 5 of Cups and 3 of Swords, you are tired of these people that aren't appreciating you, aren't loving you completely, aren't properly loving you, aren't properly treating you, are lying to you, or deceiving you. And that's all coming up. It's all coming up because it's Libra season, it's the 12th house. This can be past stuff, this doesn't have to be recent. But I do feel for a lot of you, Hanged Man, 7 of Wands, you've been delaying this acknowledgement and thinking you're fine and going on regardless, but you have to acknowledge it now. 7 of Wands is being defensive, it's fighting off the help, it's fighting off the the time spent taking care of yourself and your psyche, and the Hanged Man is not willing to do anything. And this all popped out when I mentioned Venus. A lot of Scorpios are thinking, no. Some Scorpios are thinking, yes, 8 of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles, give me all the offers. Some Scorpios are recently or are getting engaged, and that's possibly what is bringing up the past issues and the fear of committing to something greater than just being, making something legal, making something united. A lot of Scorpios that are in that camp are scared of that. A lot of Scorpios are actually quite scared of commitment here. But Ace of Pentacles and the 8 of Wands, an offer is coming in quite quickly. And there's similarities, Scorpio, already between your reading and the Pisces reading. So for some of you, you may be dealing with a Pisces. I know that they sort of had Scorpio in theirs. You could be having Pisces in your chart, or it could be that Pisces full moon. And as we lead up to the Aries full moon, you're letting a lot of things go. You're letting a lot of our relationships go. Relationships that weren't going anywhere. Hanged Man and the 3 of Swords. It's like the universe just went, no, this isn't working. It's not progressing. And neither is actually an offer of some kind coming in. The Ace of Pentacles, always an offer. It can sometimes be a gift. But in a horoscope, I think it's deeper. 8 of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles, something comes in actually quite quickly. And it comes in after the 3rd of October. It comes in after, because that 3 of Swords, Pluto going direct, you can finally speak your truth. You're not going to be in these misunderstandings with people that don't get you anymore. You're not going to be in relationships with people that just don't vibe with you. They don't understand you. They make you feel like your emotions are manipulative. They make you feel the Star. There's a glimmer of hope coming into this, which I like. I love seeing the Star after the 3 of Swords. It follows the Tower, but I love seeing it after the 3 of Swords because it's that element of hope. If you're dealing with an Aquarius in particular, I think there could be an understanding finally reached there that's been lacking. But Scorpio, Venus in your sign, can we talk about that? Because it is prime time for love. It's prime time for money. And that Ace of Pentacles is saying with the last couple of months of Jupiter being in your 2nd house, it is time to work. Queen of Swords, you're feeling very protective. A lot of you are for sure dealing with an Aquarius though. But this is also telling me, with the Queen of Swords, that Libra season is giving you hope somewhere. Oh, Temperance. Could be with a Sagittarius, but it could also be to do with healing. Temperance is about taking the middle ground. You're kind of done with the extremes. And that's a lot, because Scorpios are very extreme, but you know in Libra season that being extreme doesn't work. You have to heal yourself. You have to be doing the inner work. You have to be speaking your truth. And you guys will find that throat chakra, a lot of you that get coughs and dribbly throats and you feel like you just can't speak your truth, you breathe in blue air in Libra season. You finally feel with Saturn now direct in your communication sector and Pluto now direct in your communication sector that you can actually be honest and you can actually say what you mean. Princess of Cups. It's the Knight of Cups, you know. With Temperance. For a lot of you, you're finding love with Temperance, Sagittarius, or Queen of Swords and Star in Aquarius. Quite freaking loving signs, don't you think? Or Libra. Maybe even a Gemini. Six of Cups. Okay. What was that? What else came out there? The Fool. 10 of Cups. Oh. Okay. Oh. Right. Okay. Okay. Now I can see Venus. This is Venus being very, very good to Scorpio. My God. Okay. So Temperance and the Knight of Cups. In comes a love for single Scorpios that is very healing. If you're in a relationship, you guys are mending fences. If there's been some tension lately, I think the tension may have come from you not communicating, okay? So Scorpios are in kind of tumultuous grounds with relationships, but there's love there. You guys are going to sort it out. Queen of Swords, be careful because, you know, you might have to say sorry for some of the things that you said. Knight of Cups and Temperance. Definitely Sagittarius vibes there. And Six of Cups and the Fool. Okay, disclaimer. I know that I don't like it either. I don't like when people do readings about your ex is returning, blah, 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 blah. Because, like, some people want to move forward. For some of you, you're rekindling something, but I see this as an old person seen in a new way. So this is for some of you reconnecting with someone from your past that maybe you didn't see that way before, or maybe you never had proper chance, maybe they lived somewhere else, maybe you lived somewhere else. For a lot of you, you're finding love with someone you're seeing an old person in a new light, is what I'm saying. Take from that what you will. Bear in mind, the Ten of Cups, Knight of Cups, Six of Cups, and the Ten of Cups. That's so stunning. That's beautiful for love, Scorpio. That really is. The Fool and the Six of Cups. For some of you, it is quite simply meeting somebody new that feels like home. Okay. The Fool, I believe, is also, it always gives me Aries and Aquarius vibes. Oh, okay. So how do we work through that? What do we need to know? Address your past with cheating. I hate saying that in a Scorpio reading, but if some of you have been in relationships where there's been infidelity, old wounds heal slowly for Scorpio people. And Libra season is all about addressing your subconscious stuff. Your dreams are telling you more than anything, especially if it's to do with a Leo, Strength card. But this for me is a Scorpio getting in touch with their own dark side, your own beast. And I think for a lot of Scorpios, you have felt quite cornered since April. It's almost like you've had to explain yourself constantly and you're tired of doing it. And for a lot of Scorpios, there's somebody that will just be a calming, loving influence and no drama. The Fool to me represents a new start. I'm not saying, because I think Scorpios hear the Fool and think, foolish, because nobody wants to look foolish, especially not Scorpios. But with the Fool and the Six of Cups, it's like a new start from the past. So, you've learned from your past, you're about to start something new, a new chapter. 10 of Cups. It's good. It's good. So don't be freaked out. It doesn't mean that, your ex is coming back and it's that one that you hate, because I know that I don't enjoy that either. But the vibe that I'm getting from this is because, of course, Mercury is going retrograde on Halloween. Spooky enough, but it's happening in Scorpio, extra spooky. And I've always found as a Scorpio person, for me, Mercury retrogrades rarely mean returns. Actually, more often than not, for Scorpio people, it's Mars retrograde means returns. But because this Mercury is in Scorpio, I think it is possible that you could be reconnecting with someone that you have a history with, or that has been in your life for a very long time. Again, looking at somebody old in a new light. Some of you have had this Virgo season because it's your 11th house, Venus being in Virgo and Mars being in Virgo. You've maybe fallen in love with a friend, And if that's the case, what more could you want? Because at least you know the person. They're not going to surprise you. Okay. Okie dokie. Knight of Wands, Judgment, and the King of Cups. Some Scorpios have a choice. And I'm not bashing a particular element, but the Knight of Wands in this, although it represents fire, which is Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries, the Knight of Wands isn't the King of Wands. You might see that this means travel. You might have a travel experience where you connect with someone. I think a lot of you are, because Judgment does rule that You know, judgment is Pluto, things unearthing, things being reborn. Some of you are reconnecting with either a fire sign, a Sagittarius, Leo, or an Aries, or a Scorpio. Very strong Scorpio on Scorpio vibes here. So if you guys get in a fight, let me know how that goes. Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio vibes here too. But I think a lot of Scorpios are learning to choose the King of Cups over the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands being the non-committal, flirtatious, drags their feet there 1 minute, gone the next person, and the King of Cups being your choosing yourself above this person, these types of people. But it may also be that you have met someone who's more emotionally compatible, and I think for a lot of you that's the case. I think for a lot of you, your Knight of Cups becomes a King of Cups in October, going into Scorpio season. Judgment and the King of Cups is so Scorpio. That is mastering your emotions by getting deep down to what it is. For some of you with the Knight of Wands and Judgment, you may find that you're dating committophobes because you are one. And it maybe goes back a lot longer than you think. For other Scorpios, it's been one hell of a ride, but you finally got the memo. You finally got the message. You understand what you were doing wrong now. You understand why you were letting these people do these things. Knight of Swords, you're going to take no shh. Good. Because as we get into Scorpio season, you know better. And things start to move really quickly in your romantic life. Two of Swords. Okay, so elephant in the room. You may learn from your Libra companions, your Libra relationships, that indecision will prevent you moving forward where you need to go. Judgment here, it is so very Scorpiophonic, it is so very Pluto going direct, but you are going to have to make a decision, quite literally for some of you, between two people. And I'm saying that because it is between a knight and a king. It may be between two people. One, to me, and this is probably for a couple of Scorpios, not everybody, but I think for a lot of you, it's either that you literally have to choose between one person who's like your past and one person who's what you actually want, but is unfamiliar in that sense. For others of you, it is choosing between your past and your future. I was going to say your present. Do live in the now. I'm not telling you not to live in the now. But I think for a lot of Scorpios, it's choosing between what seems short term rather than what seems long term. And you don't want to go into Scorpio season with non-committal attitudes if what you actually want is something that lasts, be it in business or be it in romance. Knight of Swords and the Two of Swords is telling me that you do have to make a decision. And you will make a decision. But if you don't, and you choose, and we're getting somewhere, I'm seeing this quite clearly. Scorpio, Knight of Swords, Two of Swords, and the Ten of Swords. If you choose the short-term fix, which you've done, Two of Swords, it'll end in a Ten of Swords moment. What is familiar is not necessarily what you want. Okay? Knight of Swords is when we make a hasty decision, and the Two of Swords is when we don't make a decision. Are you seeing what I'm saying? If we're going into Scorpio season, you have to be your best energy. You have to be embracing Pluto direct. You have to be feeling in control. You have to be feeling powerful. You are a King of Cups. You can take a Knight of Wands any day. Any day. And I don't mean Knight of Wands as in taking on a fire sign, because the fire signs here are actually really good. I mean it in the sense of taking less than you deserve, or taking people who love you and leave you. If someone can love you and leave you, you should just leave them. If someone is treating you like an option, Because Scorpio, you have a big shift in your romantic life, even your friendships, even your business, the people that you surround yourself with, right? And we'll get more into that in the extended. You have to let the past die. For a lot of you, that's with an air sign. An Aquarius, Libra, or a Gemini has caused you a lot of pain. But I think for most of you, it's just dealing with people that are emotionally not as deep as you. And I do feel that Libra season is so incredibly healing, and it puts you in a very vulnerable yet very powerful spot. So you can be so vulnerable, you can be in your Three of Swords moment where you feel really very, pained about what's happened to you before and the way things have gone recently for some of you, and the way circumstances have gone recently. You can feel that pain. But what I'm seeing here at the Hangman and the Seven of Wands, if you just breathe and you communicate to the people that you love and that you're sure of, and you get that stuff out and you heal, things take off really, really quickly. Ace of Wands and the Eight of Wands. Ace of Pentacles and the Eight of Wands. And with the Star here, and then Temperance. Having hope and having faith is going to be more healing than what actually damaged you. And so you have a choice in Libra season. It's all about choices. The scales are going up and down, up and down, up and down. We have Temperance, Knight of Cups, the Fool, Six of Cups, and the Ten of Cups saying there's a love there if you want it, for a lot of Scorpios. I am drawn to the distinction between the old and the new way of doing things. The new way of doing things leading you to this Ten of Cups is happily emotional fulfillment vibe, or the Ten of Swords, which is starting from scratch again. Ten of Swords is the end of a very tumultuous and very painful 10-year cycle. Leave it in October. Leave it in October. Your season's coming along as shown by the King of Cups and the Judgment energy. You have a big decision to make, Scorpio. If you want things to be the way they've always been, do what you always do. Hurt to be vulnerable with someone that deserves it this time. But when Mercury retrograde comes along, don't be so keen to jump to conclusions. Knight of Swords, Two of Swords, don't rush to conclusions. Don't make snap decisions. Don't be extreme, because that will, just don't. That won't help you. But if you embrace your sensitive side, your emotional side, your loving side, because Scorpios are actually very loving and very sensitive and very big goofballs. And when you're up against people that are hurting you and not treating you well, you become quite Queen of Swords. You become quite cutting. You become quite stingy. And that's fine when you have to protect yourself against people like that. But it's people like that that should stay in the past. Address that. Address your issues with them. Address your past in the first week of October. From October 3rd onwards. In fact, around the 3rd to the 7th of October, you're really in your feelings. You're really in your pain. Mercury enters Scorpio on the 3rd as well. And Pluto goes direct in your communication sector, and you find that in having a voice. Sometimes you have to say the uncomfortable thing and you have to be vulnerable, and it's hard. Around the 8th, when Venus goes into your sign, on to the rest of the month. For some of you, love comes a knocking, and you see hope and you feel rejuvenated, and it's really beautiful. And as we cross into Scorpio season, you're in your power, so powerful. And when Mercury goes retrograde, and we'll cross that bridge in November. In fact, we'll cross it more mid-month, but just make sure you don't jump to conclusions, you don't go too quick, you don't react from fear, you don't believe that everything is happening again. It's the end of a 10-year cycle. Things are good. Let's just make sure that we get it healed this season, because last year we had Venus retrograde, Mercury was retrograde straight after, we just had Mars in retrograde. It was a shit show. This is a pretty nice Libra season. This is a good time to heal. Jupiter is in your house of worth, making you feel so much better. Scorpio, I love you. I will see you in the extended. It's going to be linked below. We're going to go into these air signs, the Sagittarius, the Pisces, the other Scorpio, and the Earth signs. And we'll see what else we can do to prevent this 10 of Swords and keep this 10 of Cups. Scorpio, I love you. Bye.